talk to you about how to use your story to attract the right clientele. Now, when we talk about clientele, we're talking about customers. We're talking about people that you can help. We're talking about people that are in the same bandwidth as yours. When I'm talking about bandwidth, I'm not really talking about internet connection. I'm talking about these are the individuals that you are designed, your business is set up to help, your service is set up to help. These people are the people that resonate with you. These are the avatar that your service is best curtail to help. So I'm excited. Now, I'm also going to try to stay calm here because I'm really excited about the information here. But now, who is this message for? Really for coaches, because there's a lot of people who are doing coaching right now, professional development. They could also be in the consultant space. But I really want to make sure you get this information here. First thing I want to talk about are these 5 steps, these 5 key steps that you need to separate yourself from everyone else. Okay. I'm going to make sure everything is clear. Everything is running. Good. We're good there. We're also live on. Okay. Fantastic. All right. Everything is good to go. YouTube is good to go. Fantastic. You guys are out there in YouTube land. Wonderful. Okay. Let's get ready to rock and roll. This is going to be great. All right. So here's the first one. Here is the first one. Your story is not a sales pitch. Your story is not a sales pitch. Do not use your story as a sales pitch. No one cares about who you are. The truth is, nobody really cares who you are. But you know what they care about? They care how much you care. They don't care about you, but they care about how much you care. And the only way that you can show that you care is to share information that is transformational. Let me say that again. When you share your story as an entrepreneur or as a business person or as a coach, as a consultant, share your story in a way where it's going to elevate people. Don't share your story as a hammer. What do I mean by that? You share your story as a hammer or a pen when people feel as if you're stabbing, you're taking stabs at them. When people feel as if you are basically just hammering down at them. That doesn't work. Because what happened is, let's say, for example, that person has been through a traumatic experience and the subject matter that you're talking about, let's say, for example, you're one of those healing coach or you're one of those personal development coach, and all you really focus on is your hardship and how things are so hard for you, how things are so difficult for you, and all the setbacks, you dwell on them. Well, here's what's going to happen. That's really what they're going to remember. They're only going to remember you for the sad stories. And let me tell you something. Research show that the more negative a story is, the more repulsive, and you become a repellent to those people that you're trying to attract. So Mary Poppins once said, and I remember Mary Poppins because when my boys were young, I used to let them watch Mary Poppins and we pull out those key stories, those key life lessons from there and use it to really teach them some things that they need to know moving forward. And one of the stories that we learned from Mary Poppins is simply this. In her song, she said, "A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down." Now, what is the medicine? The medicine is your message that you want them to resonate with. Let me say it again. Your medicine is the message that you want your client or potential client to resonate with. It is not the trauma that you have overcome or survived that you want them to live with or to become burdensome or for it to become a yoke around their neck. That's not what you want that to happen. You want to make sure that your client sees the process that you have taken through your story and how your story is not a pitch to them to make them feel guilty for not trying their best or to make them feel bad for the stage or the situation that they find themselves in life now. That's not what you want from your ideal client. Your goal is to make sure they see that the service that you are rendering or that you're offering can help them. You want them to realize that they're in a situation not based on what you say to them or they're reliving your trauma, but they are living in their circumstance. You give them an opportunity to reflect on where they are in their life. And then you also show them the lifeline. Show them the lifeline. Let them see, wow, you're actually there, or I am actually there with you. Don't point out their fault. Don't say, oh, you are, and this is where you are. You need to do better. You know what? I used to do that, but I've learned a long time ago, but no one wants to be called out. No one wants to be called out. Or what they really are asking you is to highlight some ways that I can get better. Let me say that again. No one wants to be called out. However, they are hoping that you would highlight some areas or some strategies that will help them get out of where they are. The truth is, everybody, most people, I should say, know exactly where they are. They know exactly what they're trying to get out of. They just don't see the pathway. They just need someone to help them get out of where they are. With that being said, I need you to think of this. Think of this scenario. There's a guy that went on a trip. He's been working 7 days a week, and that may be some of you. He's experiencing some mental health issues and stuff. He's been experiencing some traumatic events in his past couple of months of just working. He's been working at this company for 15 years. Doesn't feel appreciated, doesn't feel like he's part of the community. He feel kind of, almost like a cast out. He's just going to work and coming home. Is that you? I hope that's not you. And here's what happened. He decided he's going to go on a trip. So he went on a trip. Know what he did? He went to Tibet. See, I'm going to climb the Tibetan mountain. I want to go there and see what it's like. I want to experience the culture. I want to be one with nature. Yeah, so packed up his stuff, went there. One of his goals from going there is that he wanted to experience climbing the mountain. Okay, no problem. But here is what the life lesson was for him. In life, you can have a guide or you can have a Sherpa, a guide or a Sherpa. Now, here's what's happening. A guide will tell you everything that there needs to know about a particular event or historical event or just what's happening. A guide will only tell you what they know. A Sherpa is different from a guide. See, a Sherpa basically is a person that actually leads you through the mind, or they lead you to the places or the terrains that you need to actually go. The difference between a guide and a Sherpa is that if the Sherpa step on that rock going up the mountain, you need to step exactly on that rock. A Sherpa basically is a particular guide that you have to step exactly in their footstep. You don't want the Sherpa to step here and you step there. Wherever the Sherpa steps, that's exactly where you have to be. Does that make sense? The difference between a guide and a Sherpa is the Sherpa is going to hold your hand to make sure you replicate exactly what they do. Why? Because they want to guarantee your success. Does that make sense? Now, make sure when you're sharing your story, you're not re-traumatizing people. You're really trying to help them by providing strategies for them to overcome so they can be transformed in the process of listening to you. Here's an example. My name is Andrew E. Guy, and I'm a firm believer that resiliency is the key to developing resilient leaders who are learners for life. Why resiliency? Why now? Why for life? Well, my life, I call it a miracle, not a miracle. My life is a miracle. I really think so because it's my story. It's a miracle that seen from my perspective. So it's a miracle. Why? Because I've had some tough times. I've had to overcome traumatic events. And you know what? All of these events, they didn't kill me, but they come and they serve as a sharpener to make me more resilient. I considered myself a point or a lead inside of a pencil. However, a lead, it was inside the pencil, but without the sharpeners and the hardship and all the tough ups and downs that I've gone through, they serve me as a sharpener. So now I have a lead so I can have a point to make, so I can write a vision, a new vision to create a better version of me. If this is something that you're interested in, reach out. My website is andrewguyspeaks.com, www.andrewguyspeaks.com. I'll be happy to explain how I overcame some of my tough times through the mindset of resiliency and developing a growth mindset. If this is something that you think could help you, reach out. Feel free to reach out. I'm looking forward to speaking to you on the other end. Do you see how simple that was? I didn't say, well, I went through this and this happened to me and I almost this and I almost that. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody really cares until you show them how much you care. That's what we're trying to get you to understand. So use your story to help people understand why they should do business with you. Don't use your story to beat them down like a hammer. Don't use your story to cripple them. Don't use your story to re-traumatize them because you really don't know what they're going through. Does that make sense? Fantastic. So that's number one. Your story is not a sales pitch. Your story is a meeting place. Your story is a meeting place to help you fill the gap. Let me say it again. Your story is a meeting place at where you fill the gap between where they are and when they come in contact with you. It could be via the internet, social media, whatever. Your story fills the gap from where you are to when they meet you. And your story is that bridge that fills that gap. When you tell your story, you help people to connect with where you're coming from, what you have been through, and what keeps you going now. I'll say it again. Your story helps people to understand where you're coming from. You see that bridge right there? It helps you, right? It helps you to get people to understand where you're coming from, what got you there, the bridge, and what's keeping you now. People need to understand what's keeping you now because the chances are they don't really care too much about the past, but it's the issue that they're dealing with now that they need that pain point be relieved. Does that make sense? I hope that was clear. Okay, let's go on into the next session. If there's any question, please leave a message in the right there in the box, in the chat box, and I will get back to you and hash them out with you. All right. I didn't want to focus on the chat, the chat box right now because I really want to give you my full attention. I didn't want to go back and forth to rally back and forth, but at the end of this, we'll go back and we'll look at some of those questions and then we'll answer some. All right. So number one, your story is not a sales pitch. It's meant to bridge the gap from where you come from, what you've endured, and what keeps you going now. These are stories that inspire people to look at their situation without you pointing it out and make them feel judged or criticized or ridiculed, but let them see, wow, if he can do it, hey, I can do it. Does that make sense? All right, let's continue. Number two, your story is not designed to seek self-pity. Number two, your story is not designed to seek self-pity or self-piety. What do I mean by that? Self-pity is that, poor me. Oh, I'm the only one that's going through. Oh, look what I'm going through. And the purpose of people telling a self-pity story is so they can get a handout. That's the only purpose. You're basically asking people to give you a handout. The purpose of creating a pity or for me or can't you see what I'm going through is to cause people to feel guilty for having, and so they should give you. Listen to me carefully. No one, no one, I guess some people will, but I'm going to go on a limb and say in generally, 70 to 80% of the people don't care what you're going through because they're going through their own thing themselves. Does that make sense? So you don't want to create a pity party, a poor me party, a crying, sobbing party, and hoping people are going to be sorry for you. That is not business ethic. That is not service clarity. So the goal of it is to help them to understand here is where you are right now. Here is what got you here right now. And the goal is that they will see your resiliency, they will see your strength, they will see your fortitude, they will see your hope, they will see everything that they are actually looking for. And they say, wow, I have got to connect with this person. I have got to connect with Andrew Guy. What else does he have available? Man, this free course was amazing. I wonder what paid stuff is all about. If the free stuff is this good, wow, I can't wait to get in there and get the paid stuff. So what I want you to understand as you start to think about how to use your story to attract the right client, you got to make sure that you're not using your story to bring self-pity to yourself. Okay, does that make sense? That was number 2. I do not want to use my story as a self-pity to create some kind of crime party so people can come and sorry for me. They're not going to give you business because they're sorry for you. Okay, that doesn't work in business. It may work somewhere else, but it doesn't work in business. Does that make sense? Because you don't want your client come traumatized because of your past history and then you're looking for a handout. Handout doesn't work. Even if, for example, you apply for a grant. If you apply for a grant, you have to show the financier that you are capable of fulfilling the obligations that you put on the application. You have to show them that, oh, this is what my service is. This is what I want to accomplish. And here is how I'm going to fulfill that. And here is how you can help me fulfill these objectives. When you think like that and you approach your story like that, and when you share your story like that, people feel empowered because people really just want to help from where they are. That's really all they want. It's not what they've been through. They need help right now, right where they are. And if you can help a person right where they are because of a pain point, then that's when they become a customer and a loyal customer to you. Does that make sense? All right, fantastic. Now let's jump down to number 3. We're getting through these. Number 3 says, seek to understand so you can be understood. Seek understanding so you can be understood. As an entrepreneur, you don't just want to use your story to say, hey, why don't you understand me? Nobody cares, as I said, about you. They really care about themselves and they care about the pain point that they want desperately to be relieved from. So when you see this, then you don't want to approach your future client or your potential client and or customer as in, well, you need to understand, me. No, you need to help them to understand how. How does my product and service is a best fit for you? How does it help to alleviate your pain point? And so the goal of this part of sharing your story is to educate. It's to educate your client to let them see the benefits, the win-wins, the collaborative potential that you can basically go on a journey together, and where it's a win-win, it's a collaboration. It is what we call a mutualistic partnership, where you win, the other person win, everyone win, where one hand washes the other, and in the end, they are both clean. That's the kind of relationship that you need to build when you're going from a customer service and or client service and or consultancy or slash coach perspective. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure that you educate your client. Here is an example of how you educate your client. Well, what is the product that I offer? My main product or my flagship product is the Resiliency Master Course. That's what it is. It's the Resiliency Mastery Course. The purpose of this course is to help leaders understand their strong skill set, separate them from the weak skill set that are not benefiting them so they can have more win where they are and to build resiliency in their area of expertise. That is the essence of the course. When someone hears this, they're thinking, oh my goodness, am I a leader? They're going to ask themselves that question. Am I a leader? Well, yes, I'm in a leadership position. I might not be the greatest leader, but I'm in a leadership position. And guess what? I don't think I have it all together, because what you want to do in this situation is cause people to really kind of self-reflect. You want people to kind of self-assess. You want them to really kind of think about, whoa, 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 whoa. Do I have it all together? Can I sharpen up? Are there skill sets that I can actually sharpen up? Can I build a little bit more? Is there something else that I can do to help me get better, to create a better version of myself? Well, when you do that, when you educate people and you give them diagnostic questions that would enable them to not question, not judge themselves, but also to come to a realization that, you know what? The information that this person is offering could benefit me. I see the benefit. I see how what you are saying can help me. I see how what you're offering can help me get from where I am. I see that I'm on turbulent waters right now, and all I need is a life jacket. No, you might say you need a life jacket, but you're offering them rescue. That could be one thing. You're offering them education to empower them so they can discover their capabilities and live and use to their potential. Now, when you fully educate someone, they're going to want you to keep tapping them up. Does that make sense? They're going to want you to keep helping them along the way, because chances are it's not just one goal they have. They have many, many goals. And there is one that they really, really, really want to accomplish, and it's to get out of the situation that they're in right now, or to become enlightened, or to discover some strategies that will help them get to that next step. And sometimes that next step could be their first step to several other steps, which you can help them get through later on. And this you can use by just having add-ons, other courses that you can have. You can have like an entry-level course where you can say, hey, listen, man, I want to offer this course to you, and here's how much it costs. It's $97. And after you get in, listen, it's an entry level. It's just for anyone who wants to see my teaching style, my learning style, my delivery style, and how, and if we resonate. And if we do resonate, by the way, while you're actually in the store shopping, and I'm just giving you metaphorically, you're in the store shopping, there's other things that I also offer. I also offer one-on-one coaching. I offer group coaching, and I have a conference, an event that comes out in June. Wow, it would be great if you can come. And then I can invite you to come. And when you come, here's what you will learn. Does that make sense? That's how you educate people. When you educate people, not about what they should buy from you, but the transformation that they will experience from you, then they will become not just your customer, they'll become your cheerleader. They'll become the cheerleader that goes out and say, wow, I tried this and this is what happened. Loved it. And guess what? You no longer have to market your stuff. You just give it to a few right client and they will sell it for you. Now, I got to talk about this before I move forward. I don't believe in good clients. I don't believe in better clients. And I definitely don't believe in the best clients. Now, when I talk about good, better, and best, what I simply mean is that all those are comparative. Like all of those will change. All of those. For example, if you have a good client, you know what? There's a chance that you'd want a better one. And when you get that better one, you're thinking, man, wow, I wonder what it's like to have a best client. I wonder what it's like. And so you never be satisfied because you're always looking for the next up. I'm going to tell you a quick story. There are two guys, actually three of them, and they went on this camping trip. They're cowboys, by the way. You know, the guys that wear the big caps, you know. Yeah. And I went on this camping trip, and while they're out there on the camping trip, they're out there for 3 days. Three guys, 3 days. And they're out there in the wilderness, man. They say they want to be one with nature. You know, I want to go out there, and I've been working too hard. I just want to get rid of some of the stress right now. I really just want to, I think I need a trip. I don't want to go in a hotel. I don't want to be pampered. I want to get right back out there to nature and connect with nature. You know, that's what I want to do. And then he calls up two of his other buddies. So the one guy who had the thought, call up his buddies. Call up his buddies. And buddy was like, oh, buddy. Like, wow, dude, that's the best thing since sliced bread. Wow, I was thinking about booking a vacation, but this is exactly what I need. I don't want to go put up with a whole bunch of people in the airport. I don't want to be worrying about luggage. I just want to get away, and I want to put something on the fire and roast it, or even if I got to hunt it, I just want to be one with nature. I want to feel the fresh air on my face. I want to be able to scream and hear my voice echo off the mountaintop. That's what I need. And then all three guys agreed to go on this trip. All right. By the way, one of them was the CEO of their company. The other one was an owner of $1 billion industry. And one of them was an entry-level manager. It was the entry-level manager who was trying to work his way up on the totem pole that got really stressed out and decided that he needed to go on this trip. He called his other friends. Does that make sense? So they were out there. So day one went by, you know, they kind of just played a catch-up game, and they talk, and, you know, the fire pit was there and everybody was talking, and they weren't roasting marshmallow. These are dudes. These are like real dudes. And so they're roasting marshmallows, and one person was roasting a marshmallow, and then the other guy was like, what are you doing, man? We don't do that, man. Come on, let's put some meat on the fire. Boom. They had some meat, they put it on the fire, and they're out there roasting their meat, right? And so they ate the meat and everything was good, and man, went to sleep. Good. That was day one. Day two, they said, you know what, man, we should go for a hike. And then there was a guide in the area, took him for a hike, and they went out for a hike, and they went on trails and did horseback riding, nature stuff. You know what I mean? It was great, man. They came back, and then they went fishing. They caught fish, cleaned them up, man, and put them on the fire, and they roasted the fish, and it was fantastic. That was the second night. Now, the third night, a little different. It was like, guys, this is our last night together. Let's do something fun. Let's do something amazing. Let's do something that's going to culminate this amazing trip, man. One guy said, man, I didn't have to put up with the airport. I didn't have to put up with the luggage. I didn't have to worry about my luggage because the last time I've been on a vacation, it was a disaster. He said, man, I'm so glad we all came out here. Us three needed this. Plus, we haven't caught up in 5 years, man. All we've been doing is texting. I'm so glad we can talk and, you know, have a beer and just hang out. This is amazing. So this was the last night. And so while they're there, they started sharing stories. The first guy went, shared his story. And after they shared his story, the story got a little bit more in depth, you know, and they were talking about their personal relationship. They're talking about their struggles. They said, man, we haven't talked in 5 years. Like, what's going on? Let's catch up. And then one guy was like, man, you know, I'm glad I came out here, man, because I'm seeing a therapist about my relationship with Anna. I hope there's no Anna watching. And they said, man, things haven't been good, man. I've been working too much. I've been working 7 days a week, man. I just want to pay off my mortgage and all that kind of stuff. And things are tough, man. So when I come in, I don't have time to hang out. And it's just been rough, man. It's really, really been rough. And then the other guy was like, man, I feel you, man. I feel you. It ain't been that easy, for me, man. But you know what? I got a good wife. I got a good wife. And then the guy start talking about his wife, and he's just talking about all the good things, how his wife and how the family is doing so well. And he's just there talking. And then the other guy chimed in and said, whoa, 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 you're right, man. You know what? That made me realize I also got the best wife, man. And they're talking. And then the conversation got a little in depth. And they start talking about their families, and they're talking about how they realize now that they've put work, they've put everything in front of their family, and they wish they could have done better, and how they're going to change it. But there was one guy, and he was there, and as he sat there, by the way, if you're listening to this live right now, put some comment in the box and let me know how this resonates with you. And while he was there, the third guy didn't say a word. He was quiet. Nothing, didn't say a word. And so while he was there, the other two guys just stopped abruptly, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He said, hey, man, what's going on, man? Everybody talking about their families and stuff. Like, hey, what? How come you're not saying that? And then the other guy, kind of tipped his cowboy hat, spat on the ground, took his tea, and then he poured some on the ground like that, and he just looked down, and then, he just looked up, and then he said, all of you guys are talking about family, man. Bob, you got a good wife. Joey, you got the best wife. Man, I don't have that. I don't have that, man. I don't have that. And then the other two guys now said, whoa, 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 Frank, what's going on, man? How things going at home? What's going on? Wow, sorry, man. We haven't talked in a while, so we don't know what you're going through. Sorry to hear that. What can we do? He said, man, y'all can't do anything. And the guy was like this. He said, I don't have a good wife. I don't have the best wife. He said, man, I got the right wife, man. I got the right wife. And everybody went silent. And the moral of the story is that many people are looking for a good customer. Many people are looking for a better customer. Many people are looking for the best customer or the best client. But here is what you need. You don't need the good, you don't need the better, and you don't need the best, because that simply means that all of these are comparative. When you get good, you're always going to be looking for better. When you get better, you're always going to be looking for the best. So you're never satisfied. And here's what's happening, that your client will never get the best of you. But when you have the right client, it doesn't matter if they're good, better, or the best. Right means that whatever your service offers, it works for that client. So having right client versus good, better, or best client is the right thing to do. You want to make sure you have that ideal client, that they connect with your service. How do they connect with your service? They connect with your service because your story resonates with them. Your story educate them. Your story was not set up as a pitch. Your story did not make them feel guilty for what they have or where they are in life. Your story simply educate them about your products and service and how it can meet their need. Does that make sense? I know we went all the way around just to come back to the point. So when you create your course, when you create your products and service, when you use your story to help people to understand what you have to offer, those are the top 3 things that you have to consider. So as you listen to this live free course, this workshop, I want you to wrap your mind around this thing. Make sure you use your story the right way, not the good, better, or the best way, but the right way, so you can help people to understand the benefits thereof, but also so you can be understood. Does that make sense? Let's go to number 4. If this is good, put that in the chat box. This is good. Andrew, this is amazing. I'm looking forward to what you have to sell because this free stuff is outstanding. Wow. When are you doing another live again? All right, let's continue. Those are great questions, by the way. Number 4, your story is a reflection of your lived experience. It's not your death sentence. I'll say it again. Your story is an accumulation of your lived experience. It is not your death sentence. Most people who have had tragic experience or trauma or traumatic experience, they dump it on the listener, or they dump it on their potential client. They dump it on the customers to make them feel burdensome. They make them feel so burdensome that they're in a bypass where they can't really decide, should I get your product or should I go get something else? And so what you create for that individual is a shop around mindset. I mean, they feel guilty because they know they need to change. They know they need to get something, but they're not sure if they should get it from you or they should get it from someone else. So what they start doing now, they start shopping around. They keep you now as an option. You don't want to be an option. You want to make sure your story create transformation when they hear it. You want to make sure that it's not a pity story. You want to make sure that you are understood, and you want to make sure that they understand the benefits. And number 4, you want to make sure that your story is a reflection of your lived experience. What is your lived experience? Let's talk about that. Your lived experience is an accumulation of all the things that you've gone through. But the true lived experience is how you see yourself as you go through these experiences. The true lived experience, it's a mental game. I'll say it again. Your true lived experience is how you see yourself as you navigate your way through the ups and downs, the trials and the tribulation, the curveballs that life throw at you, and you're still able to stand. That's the real essence of your live story. If you think of guys like Robert Kiyosaki that talk about the rich dad, poor dad, right? He have the rich dad, poor dad series, right? And he talks about how his poor dad was only focusing on a job. And then the rich dad, based on his thinking and how we see the world and the economies and how the socioeconomic settings are aligned to cause only some people to win. The rich dad said, whoa, based on my thinking, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this instead. And so wealth or riches is only a thought away. And the same thing goes for your customers. If you get them to think about your services, how your services differs, how your services is the best option, how your services is a no-brainer, if your services will help them, then listen, then this is where I'm going. That's what you want to do when you tell your story. You want to help them to understand so you can be understood. And so you want to make sure they understand your lived experience is what make you credible for someone to do business with. I say it again. Your lived experience builds credibility in the listener, the viewer, or the person or the potential client that will do business with you. You know what I'm saying? You. I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing at me. Does that make sense? I'll give you an example. So when I talk to people about why I am so adamant about resiliency. Now, people are talking about finance, people are talking about riches, people are talking about wealth, people are talking about investment, people are talking about a whole plethora of things. What they're not talking about is resiliency. Because hear me when I tell you, you need resiliency at the core of everything that you do in life. Resiliency is the game changer. I don't care where you come from. You know, as a matter of fact, I do, because where you're coming from has a lot to do with what you have to overcome and then where you are today and where you want to be. So, yes, it is applicable. But let me help you understand something. It is kind of like the story of these two people, two wealthy people, or two nations, the Vanderbilt and the Rockefellers. They did something different. These guys over here did something different. Now the outcome is very visible. Who was thinking? I wouldn't say the right way, but based on the thinking of one group or nation, one end up broke, one end up wealthy. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you? So when you share your story, help them to reflect on it. Help them to reflect not on your service, but on their circumstance and how your products and service can help lift them from out of where they are to where they want to be. The next thing you want to do when you share your story, God, help people to dream. Help them to dream. Put them in a dream state of mind. Let them start imagine. Let them start thinking, whoa, I'm not talking about Martin Luther King type of, I have a dream. I'm not talking about that. You're not Martin, and you're not Luther, and you're not, well, you could be the king or queen, but you're not that person because you don't have their lived experience. What you do have, it's your own. However, do not get convoluted in your thinking and start living other people's experience as if it were your own. When people share this story, this is why you don't want to dump on them. You do not want to traumatize them or re-traumatize them. You want to explain the benefits of what they will gain from using your products and services. You do not want to make them feel judged. You do not want to make them feel ridiculed. You don't want them to feel less than. You want to say, wow, how could the outcome be different if they use A, B, or C? Why A, B, C, or D, or F? You want to give them options. You want them to feel as if they have made the choice. They have chosen. Not that they are hoodwinked, not that you twisted their arm, but they feel like, wow, I made this choice on my own. Now you have what's called an empowered customer, an empowered client who wants to do business with you. That's what you want. This is the course for you. This is the course for you. What is the course I'm talking about? How to use your story. Listen to me. How to use your story to attract not good, not better, not best, but the right clientele. There is something about working with the right client that just empowers the entrepreneur, that empowers the consultant, that empowers the coach, that makes them want to keep going. They want to give you their best. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, that's the kind of business. That's how you want to build your business, on that foundation. When you build your business on that foundation, you can't help it but succeed. Building your business on that foundation, knowing that you're excited about what you're doing, you're not trying to hoodwink people, you're not trying to clickbait these people or clickbait these people. You really want them to be educated so they can make an informed decision. Now, let's talk about informed decision. An informed decision, when a person feels informed that you've given them the right information so they can make a decision about where they are in that particular circumstance. I'll say it again. An informed decision is when you've given that person, that potential client, all that they need so they can reflect on their current circumstance and make a decision whether or not your service will be the one that helps them to get out of that rut. Does that make sense? All right. Now, the next one is number 5. But before I do number 5, I want you to consider this. I'm going to use this as a transition before I get to number 5. Now, if this free course is good and is helping you, put some comment in the box. I want you to share this with some people. I'll have it available online that you can go ahead and just go ahead and share it. But I want you to get this, because if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a consultant, if you're a coach, this is for you. You want to make sure you have the right products and service, but the only way for you to get that product and service is for people to know you. And let me tell you, as you sign up for this course, I hope that you will, after getting this free content, I want you to understand that people don't do business with products and service. They don't. They actually do business with other people. People do business with people. People are really not after your products and service. What they are after is another person who is able to create something that will help them. Here's what I want you to think about. I was at Journey's Cuisine a few weeks ago having an amazing lunch with an amazing international reggae artist, Anthony Malvo. And I was talking to the chef after the dinner. And I said, what makes your food so good? Chef said to me, there's a lot of love. There's a lot of care in what I do. When people taste the food, they see and they feel and they experience the care. And I'll say this, people don't care about you. They care about how much you care. People don't care about you. They care about how much you care. That's really what it's all about. And how do you show people? Well, I just gave it to you. You don't tell people you care. Show them you care. They don't care about you. They want to know how much. How much do you care? So when the chef is in the kitchen and he goes all out, and when he's finished, he dresses up that plate, everything, condiments were just perfect, everything, edible flowers. It was an amazing experience. And when he was finished, the guests licked their fingers like, whoa, this is amazing. They did videos, they took video shots, everything. And this person went and posted the video on social media. The moment that video went live on social media, people were calling in. They said, I want that same experience. I want that same product. Really what they're saying, I want the same experience that that person had. Because then I'm going to go and I'm going to show it to the world also. So people don't care if you care. They want to know how much you care. How much you care determines the quality of your service. This is why you don't want to go for the good, better, or the best client. You want the right client, the one that's ideal, the one that you pull out all the stops to make sure you do what you need to do to make sure they are served. Does that make sense? Man, this free session is amazing. I know you're looking forward to the paid session, but this right here, I want to show up. And I want you to give you some information to help to transform your business and your life. Now, if you need to reach out to me, you can go over to andrewguyspeaks.com and reach out to me there anytime. Does that make sense? All right. Let me give you the final piece. Here's the final piece. You need this. I want you to think of what you do as a journey. Like people are on this journey. Yeah, everyone's on a journey. Okay. Everyone is on a journey. But I want you to understand that they're going towards a destination, but not many people know the pathway to get there. Does that make sense? They're on this journey, they're on a pathway, but they don't always know how to get there. You are their how. Does that make sense? You are their how. You're going to explain to them how to get there by way of educating them about your products and services. What you give them is the experience. You're going to explain the how, You're going to give them the what, because that's the tangible thing that they want. The tangible thing that they want is not a commodity, it's an experience. When they get the experience with the how, they become transformed. I'll say it again. People really, really want the how to. Once they get the how to, then you give them the what. It opens up the gate for them to receive from you. They receive the what, and the what is not a commodity. The what is an experience they get when they interact with you and your service. When you put the how and the what together, you have transformation. Does that make sense? That's exactly what you need. When we think about an individual on a journey, I want you to think that they're on this journey. And so occasionally they got to stop, they got to pull over, and they got to either use the bathroom, or they got to, let's say, use or get some fuel. They got to use the bathroom, they got to fill up on their tank, and they got to use the bathroom and just, get rejuvenated, get ready for the journey. Here's what I want you to understand. Everyone is on a journey, and they will have to stop at some point in their life. They will have to stop at some point in their life. Here's the kicker. Sometimes you are the stopping point. You are the gas station. You are the fill-up station. You are the service station. You are the restaurant. You are that service and or product that they run into on their journey. So when they stop, you want to make sure, remember, you want to explain to them and educate them about the how your service benefit them. And then you're going to give them the what. The what is the service that you give them. When they put the how and the what together, they get a transformation, which is an experience. It is the experience that make you memorable. Does that make sense? It is the experience that makes you memorable, so they can go and tell their friends. This is when you get free word of mouth advertisement, because you have become memorable. Your experience, the interaction that they have with you, have become so indelible in their mind and in their subconscious that when they think of that particular issue that they're having, it's a no-brainer. Your name comes up, and not just your name, your service, the experience they have with you. That's the one that they want to have again and again and again. And I'm telling you, lo and behold, if you ever top that service up, if you ever outdo yourself better than the last time, whoa, you have a screaming fan. You have screaming fan. I'm talking about shouting your praises on the mountaintop. And they're telling everyone, you need to get this. You need to buy from this. You need to eat here. You need to go to the gas station. And you need to understand that you're not there to keep people away from other potential consultant, coaches, or business. Why? Because you're at one location or one point in their life. There are a lot of people out there who are coaching and they think they are the end all. You're not the end all. You're only one stopping point. Your goal is to do your best to make sure that experience so resonate with that client that, oh my goodness, they go around looking for another one of you so they can replicate that same experience. But remember, you're only at this one location. They got to fill up and go. Right? So when they stop at you, they had such a great experience. They're now motivated to continue on the journey. Yes. And when they continue on the journey, guess what's going to happen? They're going to stop somewhere else. But it may not always be for the same thing. Does that make sense? So now you've motivated them, you've inspired them, you've inoculated them with the right stuff. And now as they continue on their journey, what's going to happen? They're going to meet another person to help fulfill another need. So here's what I want you to get from this. You are not created to meet everyone's need. I want you to look at the body. My background is in anatomy and physiology, in kinesiology, and I'm now doing a master's of counseling psychology so I can understand the thinking process, so I can be able to give you more information, credible information. So what I want you to understand, the human body is an earth suit, according to Dr. Miles Monroe of Nassau, Bahama. That guy is an amazing individual, my spiritual mentor. Bless his heart, is passed on and gone, but his work is indelible and left in the earth, in the hearts of man. Big shout out to Dr. Miles Monroe from Nassau, Bahamas. Every time I do a workshop and I mention something about Dr. Miles, I gotta give him props, give him credit. I mean, this guy is like amazing. But let's continue. So if you look at the body, and the reason why I'm talking about the body, because you always have it with you. Everything in life you have to attain, you got to work for it, you got to achieve it, got to get it, got to go fetch it. That's what. But in life, your body is really what you have all the time. But get this information clear. Check this out. This one body have hundreds of different, thousands of different specialists that work on the same body. Did you get that? So some person is a brain surgeon, a neurologist, all right? That person worked with the nervous system. There's some people who are oncologists. There's some people who are phlebotomists. There's some people who are chiropodists. There's some people who are biologists. There's some people who are GPs or general practitioners. There's some people who are chiropractor. There's some people who are cardiologists. Are you getting the message here? Are you getting the message here? The message is simply this: you're not created to fill everybody's need, or all the needs. You just take your chunk and do a best job with it. Sorry, I shouldn't say best job. Do the right job with what you are responsible for. So here is the purpose of this. I haven't even gone to number 5 yet. Here's the purpose of helping you to understand that. You have no competition on earth. None. You don't need to compete with anybody, because there's no two Andrews that deliver the way I deliver. No two person is that passionate about what I'm passionate about. No two person have the years of experience that I have. No two person have the same lived experience. Boom. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. So you're now out of the competitive space. You just got to show up with your authentic self and be understood enough. And then the people who understand you will say, wow, this is a good fit. I'm going for it. Boom. That's how business works. Once you get that, boom, there is no competition. The only competition, if any, you are competing against your yesterday. Let me say it again. You should only compete against your yesterday, because today is your tomorrow. Did you get that? Today is your tomorrow, but you're competing against your yesterday, using today to make it your best version of yourself than you were yesterday. Is that clear? Does that make sense? So you're not competing against anyone. You find your area of expertise and do all that you can to do your right job every single time. And you will always have the right customer, the right client, and you'll always have cheerleading, raving fans raving about what you do, because you have educate them so they can see the benefits of what you're offering and how it aligns with where they want to go. Everyone is on a journey. They're on a journey, and you're just a pit stop on their journey. So you cannot monopolize their entire journey, because you are just a pit stop. People who try to monopolize and say, oh, I'm competing with that person, is because they have low self-esteem and they're not confident in what they're doing. But if they're confident in what they're doing and they know they're doing the right service and they're doing right by the clients and or customers coming, they don't have to worry. They just show up, do right, right will happen. Does that make sense? So when you think about how to use your story to attract the right customer, this is the course for you. This is the course for you. I am your instructor. and I'm going to tell you what you need to know. There are other things that you may need to know. I'm not here to fulfill everybody's needs. But if you feel that this resonate with you, wow, I would love to hear from you. Put some comment in the box, and we're getting ready to launch this course out there. I'm looking forward to you signing up, and so I can give you this information. So when you go out there to serve, you're not serving from a place of competition. You're serving from a place of completion. Let me say that again. You're not serving from a place of competition. You're serving from a place of completion, because there is a need that that client and or customer needs that not everyone can fulfill, and only you can do that. Not everyone is a foot doctor. Not everyone is a bone doctor. Not everyone is an osteologist. Not everyone is a cancer doctor. Not everyone is a heart doctor. Not everyone is an eye ophthalmologist. Not everyone is a teeth or dentist. Not everyone is a olfactory expert. Not everyone is an audiologist. Not everyone is a skin doctor or dermatologist. Everyone work together to complete the body. When you get that and you show up in the marketplace, you're showing up confident, knowing that I'm not worrying about Billy, Bob, or Joe, or Susie. You are only concerned about you showing up and doing your right work. That's what you need to do. And when you show up like that, there is no competition. You'll be confident. When people see you, they'll say, wow, I get it. Not only do I get it, I understand this guy. And because I understand this guy and you feel understood, when you show up to talk about what you have to deliver, the deliverables, when you deliver them, will be well received. Is that clear? Does that make sense? All right. So are you ready for number 5? I'm ready for number 5 if you're ready. If you're ready, so let's go. All right. So number 5, I've hinted on it earlier, but I'm going to go into a little bit more depth about this right now. So number 5 is you will share your lived experience, and your lived experience should deliver the transformation. People don't remember you for what you say to them. They remember you for how you make them feel. One of the greatest Black female poet of all time, coming out of the United States, Maya Angelou. Thank you for those words. They really don't care about that, man. They really care about how you make them feel. So remember, it goes hand in hand with what I said before. They don't care if you care. They care how much you care, because how much you care is a reflection of the service that you deliver to others. Does that make sense? When you show them how much quantitatively you care about them, it covers the whole playing field of what you care about. And what you care about is their well-being, their improvement, their transformation. That's the key. That is the key and the foundation of business, of doing people-to-people business. You know, they used to say B2B, right? There's B2B, and then there is business to customers. But this is a people-to-people. I'm talking about a humanistic transformation, a humanistic exchange. And that's what I'm talking about. The next part that I want you to get, this is bonus, is that people are not buying a product. They really are sharing an experience. They want to share in the experience that your product and service enables them to do. It's just the experience. And if the experience is good, this is why people will pay $300 for a Michael Jordan shoe, because they want to feel like Mike. They want to have that experience, right? Somebody will pay hundreds of dollars for a Hugo Boss bag, a knapsack, just a knapsack. It's the same knapsack, but there's something that they feel when they're using this particular person's product. Some people will pay $800, $900, or even $5,000 for a Prada sunshade. A Prada sunshade. It's just a shade, man, that blocks out the sun out of your eyes. Some have different level of UV protection. Just a shade. But because it's Prada, oh, I feel something. And it's the experience that people are after. But they will not get the experience if you don't take the time to explain the benefits of your products and service and how your products and service helps them to better understand you. And when you feel understood, you're now comfortable in your own skin and you're not competing with other people. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I'm excited. I'm really excited. All right. I want you to go out there and I want you to go out there and subscribe to me. Go ahead and tell 100 of your leadership people. Go ahead and tell 200 of your business associate. Go ahead and tell 500 of your closest friends if you have that much. Go ahead and tell 2,000 of your people in your community about Andrew Guy Speaks right over there at YouTube. I need more eyes. I need more voices. I need more interaction. I wanna share to the world. So get over there to youtube.com/Andrew Guy Speaks and subscribe. All right. I want to deliver these live. I want to make sure I want to know that you're listening. I want to know that you understand. I want to know that I'm understood. I want to know that we're communicating. I want to help you to get to the next level. The next level. So you can transform yourself. We're going to be launching a course. We're going to be launching our course, and I want you to get ready for it. Get ready for it. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. The course, it's coming. It's right here. Going to be right there at greatestimpactuniversity.com. It's on its way. I'm excited about today's workshop. I hope you've learned something from it. If there's anything that I can do for you, please reach out at andrewguyspeaks.com. I have books out there on andrewguyspeaks.com. You can get my new book. It's coming, called Win Where You Are. You can also get my other book. It's called Work Your Words, Finding Your Pathway to Personal Success. You can get my other book, The Anatomy of the Kingdom and the Power of Community, Exchange and Religion for a Life of Function and Purpose. And that's a spiritual development book to help you understand it's not about religion. It's really about your relationship with your creator. So you can find your you. And when you find your you, and you don't have to be anybody else. That's really what it's about. And the other portion of that book help you to understand that you don't have to go to a building, a church building, go through a church building or anybody to get to your creator. You simply just tap in, boom, and get to your creator and speak anywhere, whether you're traveling by land, air, or sea. Now, also, if you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, here's what I'm looking for the next couple of months. If you are a leader in your company, a CEO, we're specifically wanting to start the conversations with CEO and C-suite leaders of your organization. And we're talking about building resilient leaders and learners for life. I want to talk to you. Reach out to us at the ILRpodcast.com. That is ILRpodcast.com. ILIRPODCAST.com. I need to go check us out and then subscribe and be a guest on the show. I want to have a conversation with you. I want to help to understand what's going on in your company. I want to know what some of the challenges that you're facing out there and how can we help to start this conversation so we can build more resilient leaders who are learners for life. That's me, Andrew E. Guy. That's what I do. My goal in life is to build more resilient leaders who are learners for life. Why? Here's the bottom line. So they can win where they are and have more wins and make sure that they can develop the self-esteem that they need so they can have more influence in their area of expertise. In a nutshell, when said shortly, is helping people to build resilient leaders and learners for life so they can have more wins in their area of expertise. That's what I do. I do speaking engagement for corporate staff. I'll come in, I can do a 90-minute presentation, a keynote. I can come in and do a half a day. I can do a full day. I can do 2 days workshop, whatever you need. Let me know, and we're focusing on resiliency. That's our key. That's my key message, and that's it. Without resiliency in life, everything will fade away. If you gain millions and you don't have the resiliency to keep it, you'll lose it. If you have a family and you're not resilient enough to lead your family and weather the storms of raising children, right, in a negative world, then you will lose and they will go astray. Everything in life is about resiliency, and it's the ability to stand in the midst of the storm. That's really what resiliency is all about. Don't worry about all the nonsense that they're telling you, the cliche sound bites. Resiliency is staying power. That's it. And I want to show you how to develop staying power. Where you live, where you work, and where you play. That's what I want to do. That's my goal in life. So if you're interested in bringing Andrew to be a speaker at your community event or your corporate event or your staff event or your conference, reach out at andrewguyspeaks.com. Follow me out there on Instagram. That is Andrew Guy Speaks. Follow me out there on Facebook. That is Andrew Guy Speaks. I'm out there. Follow me. Get in touch and send some people our way so we can inoculate them with the right stuff. I'm excited about this free workshop. Until next time, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. My name is Andrew E. Guy. Have yourself a fantastic day, a fantastic week, a fantastic month. But if we backtrack, I want you to have a fantastic now. Take care of yourself and have yourself a fantastic day.